And welcome back, everyone, for Championship Week of the 2015-2016 NFL season. 2 more games before the big one. I think these might be the 2 best games of the year. Here are my picks. We'll start off with the AFC Championship Game as the New England Patriots go to Denver, where the Broncos are 3-point dogs at home, and the total in that game is 44.5. Another meeting in that age-old rivalry between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. This is the 17th time these guys will go head-to-head. Tom has an 11-5 advantage. Well, let's look at Brady's record, though, against Denver. He's actually 7-8 versus the Broncos, and that could be the only team that he actually has a losing record against. And although he does have an advantage over Peyton Manning overall, they're 2-2 versus each other in the playoffs. And as a matter of fact, Peyton has a 2-1 advantage in AFC Championship games versus Brady. Every one of those championship games, the home team has won. Denver is the home team in this game. Here's where it really gets interesting, though. Tom Brady is 2-6 lifetime in Denver. He lost in 2001 against Brian Greasy. In 2003, he lost to Danny Cannell. He was the backup that year to Jake Plummer. Cannell was like mostly a career backup. I think he had 24 starts or so, but he beat a backup. Then he lost to Jake Plummer a couple of years after that, twice in the regular season and once in the playoffs. He lost to Kyle Orton in 2009. He did beat Tim Tebow. Then he lost to Peyton in the AFC Championship Game in 2013. And this year he lost to Brock Osweiler, the backup to Peyton Manning. So you can see Brady's had a bit of a tough go in Denver. Ultimately, I think in this game, it's going to be Denver's defense that's going to be the determining factor. That is a very good defense. They were number 1 in points allowed, in yards allowed, maybe I think number 4 in points. Last week, it was a tough one. They played Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh puts up yards against everybody and points, but they held their own against a much better offense. Offensively, Denver dropped a lot of passes in that game. They should have won that game by a lot more. You know, the NFL likes its stories, and this could be the last go at it for Peyton Manning. Maybe they send him off. If you're a conspiracy guy like I am, maybe they send him off on the white horse. I still think ultimately the home field advantage is going to be what determines the outcome in this game. So I'm going to predict that Denver will beat New England 23-16. So take Denver +3 and take under 44.5. And the NFC game has the Arizona Cardinals going to Carolina, where the Panthers are 3-point favorites at home. That total is 48. The Panthers led the league in scoring. Right behind them was Arizona. So these two teams are pretty similar. Quarterback-wise, Cam Newton's a big guy, 6'5". Carson Palmer's 6'5". Both of these quarterbacks are former Heisman Trophy winners, and they're former first pick overall. I don't know if that's ever happened before in a championship game. Cam Newton probably is going to be the MVP of the NFL this year, and Carson could very well be the comeback player of the year. He is coming back from that torn knee that he had last year. Arizona started the season at 30-1 to win the Super Bowl. Carolina was 60-1. Good for you if you took one of those bets, because one of these teams is going to advance. Now, obviously, with 15-1, Carolina looks like they're unstoppable. But 15-1 record doesn't mean you guaranteed you're going to win the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, it's happened 5 times before. The first 2 times were in the 80s, San Francisco, and then Chicago 1 year later. Each went 15-1. They did win the Super Bowl, but then in 1998, my Minnesota Vikings lost the championship game after going 15-1. Pittsburgh did the same thing in the AFC in 2004, and Green Bay, after winning the Super Bowl in 2010, in 2011 they went 15-1. They didn't even make it to the championship game. So a 15-1 record doesn't mean you advance necessarily. These two teams did play last year in the wild card game. You remember the Panthers sort of snuck in there with a 7-8-1 record. I think the Cardinals were 11-5. In that game, Carolina won pretty handily, 27-16, but Carson wasn't in that game. As a matter of fact, Arizona was down to their third-string quarterback, Ryan Lindley. So you can sort of take that with a grain of salt. Ultimately, in this game, this is what I think is going to happen. Cam Newton and the rest of the Panthers are very young. Their window of opportunity is going to be open for quite a while. Across the field for Arizona, it's an older team. Carson Palmer, I believe, is 36 years old, and he's had 2 major knee surgeries. I don't know how long he can last. And Larry Fitzgerald has had a wonderful year, and is only 32, but for a wide receiver, that's getting long in the tooth as well. I think they have more urgency than Carolina, and I do think that they are going to win this game. I'm going to predict that the Arizona Cardinals beat Carolina by a score of 27-26. So take Arizona +3 and take over 48. Okay, and those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. Still time to vote for your favorite prognosticators in the GIOKNOWS Awards. I'll leave the link below. For the GIOKNOWS YouTube channel, I am Gio. Let's take the man's money.